Story 1. My M32 wife's F27 ex-boyfriend sent me a video of him having sex with my wife after he found out we're having a baby. How can I even deal with this? My wife and I have been married for 4 years and we're expecting our first child. Everything has been pretty normal and all right in our relationship. I do know her ex-boyfriend since they've been together for such a long time before we met, but didn't hear anything about him after we got married. I always found our marriage pretty healthy and perfect after all. Nothing ever made me feel doubtful or insecure, until now. Last week we had a little party with our close friends and family to announce my wife's pregnancy. Everything was all right and planned, but somehow someone, maybe some mutual friends, told my wife's ex-boyfriend about her pregnancy. So around 2 days after our party, he texted me. At first I thought it's just a simple drunk text and stuff, but shit was worse than I thought. There was a video. I tried so hard not to watch it cause I knew that would be nothing good to watch anyways. But then I finally did. And I wish I never did. It was a video of my wife having sex with him. The concept of seeing my wife having sex with someone else, even thought it was for many years ago, was already fucked up enough. But I hate the way that it was also so passionate. Romantic. I don't know how to explain it, but you could literally feel the connection between them. And I hated that. It was like my whole life got destroyed in 1 second. My head got filled with messed up things. Messed up scenarios. Messed up doubts. Now I can't take it out of my head. My wife's noticed something's up, but I haven't told her about it yet. I don't know if I ever will. In my whole life I've never felt worse. I heard my wife telling another guy that she wants to have his kids, while she's carrying my kid. Man, I hate this situation, but I'm really confused. Don't know how to deal with it. Don't know how to take these stuff out of my head. Should I tell her? Should I just go beat the shit out of him instead? Should I just get over it? Any advice would be appreciated. Story 2. My wife, 27F, and I, 33M, are divorcing, but recent events are making me question everything. My wife, 27F, and I, 33M, have been together for 7 years and have 2 children together, ages 6 and 3. A month ago, she told me she wanted a divorce. She said she still loves me, but is no longer in love with me. Since then, she has emotionally distanced herself, and she's in the process of moving out. She's also admitted to seeing another guy in the last 2 months, which has caused a lot of tension between us. Despite that, this past week has been confusing. We've actually been getting along better than we have in months. A few nights ago, she came into my room visibly upset about everything going on. During that conversation, she ended up kissing me. We both stopped quickly and agreed it was probably just an emotional moment. The next day, I used our shared laptop and saw she had been Googling things like regretting divorce and reasons why people regret divorcing. This caught me off guard because she's been so sure about wanting to split since the start. Then last night, she came home after going out with friends and things escalated again. We ended up being intimate. Throughout, we kept saying we shouldn't be doing it, but it kept happening. This morning, she got into bed with me, said we shouldn't have done that, but kissed me again. I've spent weeks trying to accept the divorce and start letting go. I never wanted it, but I felt like I had no choice but to respect her decision. Now, I don't know what to think. I'm not sure if she's having second thoughts, or if this is just a mix of emotions, nostalgia, or uncertainty about the future. I haven't brought up the Google searches yet, but I'm tempted to ask her if she's truly sure about going through with this. I love her and would be willing to work on things if she genuinely wanted that, but I also don't want to be strung along or misread the situation. I'm trying to do what's best for myself and our kids, but I feel completely lost. Any advice would be really appreciated. Story 3. I am 43. Am struggling to forgive my wife 41F after catching her making fun of me with her guy friend on her phone. We've been together for 18 years. We have 2 kids together, one of which is severely autistic. Because of this, I work 2 jobs for over 80+ hours a week so she can be a psalm for our son. Recently we had to tow one of our cars and I had her phone to talk to the tow guy, and her guy friend was blowing her up on Messenger and I looked. It did not take more than a few seconds to realize that he was trying to sleep with her and talking a lot of shit about me. She claims that she wasn't aware he was flirting and immediately blocked him when I told her that I wanted a divorce. I had been suspicious about this friend for a couple of years when I saw him making fun of me back then. She claims she just saw him as a girlfriend and that it's totally normal to complain about your spouse to someone else. What bothers me is, I work grueling physical hours to afford for her to be a psalm. I come home exhausted and my body constantly hurts from the labor. I noticed him making fun of me years ago, and she only now blocked him after I threatened divorce. She was so quick to block him, but it makes me wonder what else was on that chat history that she was so willing to get rid of. Is this truly normal for women? I have never had someone, especially of the opposite sex, that I did this with about my wife. It just seems so disrespectful. We have been together for so long and I love my kids. But I just don't trust her anymore. She claims she didn't realize that he was flirting with her. Are people really this dense? Story 4. After 2 years of marriage, my 38M wife, 36F, has not adjusted to being an us. How can I communicate to her that this is hurting me? For all I know, I may be making a huge deal out of nothing, but it's frustrating me, so I want to see if there's a good way forward. Essentially, my wife and I have been living together for 3 years and married for 2. My wife has been on her own for most of her life. So, she's used to taking care of her and nobody else. For example, I'll cook dinner for us and put plates out on the table. When the food is done, I'll grab a fork, knife, and napkin for each of us, open the fridge and ask her if she wants something to drink. She'll inform me that she already got something. I'll walk over to the table to find that she got herself a drink, cutlery, and a napkin but didn't put anything down for me or offer me a drink. If she cooks, it's about 50-50 if she'll give me silverware and never gives me a drink. She always gets up early on weekends, whereas I like to sleep in a little bit as I'm up early every weekday. Usually 40 to 60 minutes after her. I will wake up hungry and ask my wife if she wants me to order breakfast sandwiches. She, usually sitting there with a cup of coffee, will inform me that she's already made breakfast for herself and is no longer hungry, but to feel free to get something for myself. She makes a single cup with a K-cup, so there's no pot to get another cup from for myself. Everything to make breakfast is in the sink and wet, and there's no indication that she even thought for a moment that I would want to eat breakfast too. I've, multiple times, tried to approach this in different ways. If I'm direct, she keeps cutting me off by apologizing and saying she didn't do it deliberately, but nothing changes. If I do it in an aloof, light-hearted way, "Oops, I guess you didn't realize I would be eating too." She gets upset, asks if I want her to make me breakfast, and says she doesn't want me upset all day. If I say nothing, she assumes I'm sad, says she doesn't want me to be angry at her, and says that I'm making a big deal over nothing. We have, overall, a very good marriage. We support each other, we have the same goals, and our division of labor and chores works very well. I know that sounds very businesslike, and maybe I'm not describing it well, but the issue is a very small part of our marriage. Not worth throwing everything away over, but enough that it bothers me, and no matter how I bring it up, nothing changes. I feel like in so many interactions that we have, my first thought is to make sure she is taken care of as well as or better than I am. Her first thought is to make sure that she is taken care of, and I am not even an afterthought. I feel like I have to remind her that I exist some days. At the same time, without going into too much detail, I am neurodivergent and I may be creating a giant nothing in my head. Is there a good way to communicate with her that this hurts me without her feeling like I'm being dramatic? I don't want to start not doing for her because that's contrary to my nature, and I feel like it's going to create resentment on both sides. I had a college girlfriend break up with me when I pulled back and began matching what I perceived to be her effort in our relationship because she said I wasn't trying anymore. TL. Doctor, I take care of my wife and myself every time I do something. My wife worries about herself and leaves me to fend for myself. No matter how I broach this, the behavior does not change. Story 5. Overheard my 33M wife, 32F, of 1 year say she doesn't love me on the phone, and now I'm revolting my marriage. My 33M wife, 32F, and I have been married for 1 year this Monday but have been together for 3 years. My truck broke down when I was getting home from work, so I got a ride from a friend. His car is really quiet compared to my truck, so my wife didn't hear it pull into the driveway. I quietly unlocked the door because I wanted to surprise her, but she was on a video call with a friend in the kitchen, so I just listened. They were talking about marriages when her friend asked her why she got married to me when she doesn't even love me. She answered, "I love how much he loves me, he's nice." From the start of our relationship, I had a sense that I loved her more than she did me, as I was always clingy and affectionate all the time, but I just thought she wasn't affectionate in general. At the time, what she said hurt but also confused me, so I just stood there behind the wall for about 15 minutes trying to make sense of what I heard. I eventually came out and acted normal, explaining about the truck and my day and whatnot, but later that evening I confronted her by saying I came home a bit earlier and ended up overhearing what she said on the video call. She barely reacted, then explained that it's true that she really does care about me in spite of not loving me romantically and wants to continue our marriage. At this point things were emotional on both sides and it was getting late. She suggested we go to bed and continue this tomorrow after we both get off work, but I rejected this and to sleeping in the same bed, which made her upset. After some failed convincing attempts to get me to agree, she went to bed alone and I slept on the couch. I get up early to get to work, so this is where I'm at right now. So many thoughts are going through my head. I obviously can't continue to be with someone who doesn't love me romantically, but does that mean the past 3 years were not real? What if she's just confused and she does love me? Is she just with me for stability? How do I approach this situation? I still love her, but I can't continue knowing it isn't mutual. I've decided not to go to work today to sort this out, but it seems like she is planning to based on last night. TLDR, overheard my wife saying she doesn't love me on the phone. We talked about it, but it didn't end well. I'm re-evaluating out entire marriage.